It is the Positively Petland show on 800 KXIC. Happy to have you along as Ron hands me my companion for this morning. Who am I holding? What am I holding? What is this thing?
We are, what you have in your hands is a Pomeranian Chihuahua, so a Pomchi. And then what I am holding is a Havanese. Havanese.
I know where the Havanese is from.
Where is it from?
Cuba.
Cuba. Oh. I need to get a reference material for me.
That would be the AKC master book of all things, the American Kennel Club, as you open up the page to the, is it the Pomeranian? No, Havanese. I already forgot.
So the Havanese, we were talking about the Havanese as far as, what do they look like and all that. This one is a black and white one. The Havanese is from Havana, and it looks like a Shih Tzu with its nose pulled out. And that, I think, is a really good description of a couple of different things in that. That is a good description of the looks of it. But it also, if you know Shih Tzus, they look like, or they act really easy. They're one of those breeds that, almost have to try to make them bark or mean or whatever it is. So they're a really easy breed to have. They're one of the Shih Tzu is one of the easiest out there. The Havanese is in that same boat. So we already stumped Jerry and didn't do a good job of it. So let's get into the Havanese. What do you mean?
I said Cuba.
I know. We didn't stump you very well.
You just said we stumped Jerry.
And we didn't do that very well.
Oh, I see.
We didn't. Jerry performed very well, i.e., I'm trying to give you compliments.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you.
All right. So from the AKC, the Havanese is the national dog of Cuba and the island nation's only existing native breed. Dogs of the Bichon family were brought to Cuba and adapted to the island's diet and climate, resulting in a smaller dog than his predecessors with a completely white, silky texture coat. That dog was the Blanquito de la Habana, also known as the Havana Silk Dog. So that's the origins of it. A little bit of the form and function. Havanese are developed to be ideal, small, beautiful house pets. Their compact, sturdy size, soft, silky coat. How's that coat? Is it soft and silky?
It is.
Many colors. This one is the black and white one. Happy disposition. The loud one in our studio today, that's our Pomchi. That's our little fluffy, excuse me, Pomeranian Chihuahua.
This was the same color as my cocker.
Oh, so you had a kind of party color.
Yep.
So the happy disposition and their strong desire to be with their family all contribute to their roles as household pets and family entertainers. So, excuse me, I had a little hiccup there. So that is the Havanese. So the Havanese is one of those breeds that it's a non-shedding. It's in that quote unquote non-shedding breed. They do shed. All dogs shed. These just shed a lot less than the others. So that requires this breed to have more grooming. So don't look at a non-shedding dog as a low maintenance dog. They tend to be a little higher maintenance. Not a big deal, but you got to take care of it. Let's say you're like, hey, I'm all about non-shedding. That's what I really, really want. How do I make that puppy be more of a easier one? You just have the groomer cut a little tighter on the coat so that it's lower. So now you don't have to do all the primping and combing and all that kind of stuff.
It's very chill compared to the other one.
Yes, and that's the Havanese. It's just an easier dog all around.
Like, so he's not moving, he's not squirming. He's like, you're holding me, and I'm perfectly fine with this.
And I'll be part of you and chew on your cord a little bit. And whoa, look at this. A little kiss is going on in here. or a smell.
I think it was more of a smell.
Yeah.
You smell the peanut butter and coffee, don't you?
And by the way, where is it? So that's the Havanese in a nutshell of what they're like. So I really like the breed. I think it should actually be more popular than the others because of just the easiness of it, kind of a thing. So the Havanese.
From Cuba.
Now let's move into a larger discussion, and that is what is the right pet for your family?
Really quick, I can't remember. Did you say that sheds a lot?
The Havanese is a non-shedding breed.
I was just going to say, I looked down and normally I'm covered with hair, but not this time. So
Right,
anyway,
there we go.
Just wanted to clarify that.
A feature of a non-shedding breed.
No hair.
And so when people come into our store, we have the pets, and that is getting somewhat unusual for pet stores. When you come in, it seems like there are pet supply stores now. When you come into our stores, you're going to notice that we have the supplies and a lot of them, but we also have the pets to go along with that. And what we focus on when you come in is the pets. We're all about educating you on the pets. What's the right pet for you? And Jerry, your lifestyle right now is, and we've said this actually over multiple weeks, is very busy. And you bring up the first pet to talk about. What pet do you have?
Fish.
And specifically,
Bettas.
A betta.
Betta.
And bettas are one of the easiest pets to have. So let's say you're in that mode where, we've got a young kid, maybe one on the way. Gosh, this is not the right time for this, but our child, we want them to experience something. I do remember when I was a younger kid, because I'm an older kid now, and loved fish. And I loved when I had that fish bowl and everything that went about it. And so a betta is a great way to introduce a child or our adult children, as is Jerry, into the pet world, or reintroduce them back into the pet world when you don't have enough time, but you still want that pet. So a neat thing about bettas, and I think we talked about it in the past, they are not gill fish. They actually take air from the air instead of oxygen from the water. And so it's a neat little interesting fact. They tend to be easier. We tend to buy smaller habitats, which is not really the best thing, but you can buy a small habitat or a bigger habitat for your betta. Bigger you go, the more you can decorate it up and make it look real pretty. How big is yours? Are you in a 10-gallon tank?
Yeah, no,
a 5-gallon?
Probably 5.
Yeah, which is actually bigger than most on that, but you've decorated it out. Didn't you put some live plants in there and stuff?
Not yet. At the encouragement you want me to.
Oh, that's right. Okay, we talked. Okay, that was a little subliminal message, Jerry, to get some live plants in there. The reason being is fish.
Don't worry, you're going to ask me again in a week or two.
Fish thrive with live plants in there. We've done science experiments on it, just informal with the kids, and they found out that the quality of life increases when you put live plants. It's kind of one of those no duh, but we wanted to prove it.
What's really fun is when you put a mirror up next to the fish bowl.
And it fights.
It like goes.
That's pretty cool because
it blows its cheeks out because it's a show betta, and so he gets all big and
yes,
just kind of looks at it.
What's neat about that, Jerry, is you're interacting with your fish. So people do it. I have not had anybody tell me that they interact with a mirror. I love that. People will use little laser beams as well, and they get attracted to the little light that's coming in and all that. You also interact with them when you feed, because as you walk towards them, they usually come towards you and all that kind of a thing. So there is interaction with the betta, and you can teach your child or your adult child, Jerry, about those kind of things and how important that is and all. So that's the betta. Now let's say, okay, I've done that. I'm ready for the next fix. You might take leapfrogs in this, but we would then go to all the other fish, get a little bigger aquarium, get into the tetras. The tetras are colorful tropical fish.
But you can't put a tetra with a betta.
You can if the habitat's big enough.
Okay.
So you can put the bettas are what are called aggressive fish,
fighting fish,
and then tetras are community fish. You'd need a much bigger environment for them to be in, and plenty of hideouts. So plants, rocks, and things like that.
Like live plants.
Like live plants, in fact. So
do you have those at the store?
I have those at the store. We have a puppy that's here. I'm chuckling because we were having fun here, but we also have a puppy that's knocking podiums and things in the studio. We are live on Facebook right now. We're live on YouTube right now, and they're just making it all fun. Jerry, when you get a chance, lift those guys up from time to time and let the people see them and all that. All right, so now we're into the fish. So you're getting into bigger aquariums. It is the same, thing as in other animals. When you go larger, okay, there's more work here and all that kind of stuff. So know that if you go to a larger aquarium, there is some more work, but it actually is easier when you go to a bigger aquarium as far as keeping everything healthy. So that's fish. I always recommend go into the tetras. They stay small, then they're lower maintenance as a result. And so that's in the fish. Let's say, you know what, I'm not into the fish. I'd like to go the next step. Next step would be a reptile or a small reptile. Those leopard geckos, the other kind of geckos, maybe a bearded dragon. Those are real fun pets to have. And the children really get a kick out of them. If you're even like going, I'm not sure about that, you can come into our store. We get these out for you so that you can handle them. The veiled chameleon, to me, is mesmerizing. I love that. And it is an easier pet to take care of as well. So you're into the reptile. So what is it like to have a reptile? Well, now there's a little bit more maintenance as far as habitat cleanup. A weekly cleanup is going to be needed there. Daily, changing foods out, changing waters out. Getting crickets usually for these reptiles is a requirement. You don't have to touch the crickets. Some of you out there going, I ain't in on that one. You can have them in bags and all that kind of stuff, so you don't have to touch them and just kind of toss them in there.
You sell crickets and mealworms and
all sorts of live little critters to feed your little critters at home. So yeah, we buy 10,000 crickets a week. Wow. So yeah, it's kind of that's here. If you think this is not many people are doing it, 10,000 crickets a week. That's an incredible amount. So know that you're going to get into that. I will say that a lot of you right now might going, I ain't dealing with that. What I find fascinating is some of these reptiles do live a little longer, and that is something you want to consider, is what is the length of the life of what I'm considering here. Moms will have, like the kids are going away to work or college or moving out or whatever that is. And the moms are going, you're not taking the reptile. You're not taking the veiled chameleon. That's mine. I love that thing and I've been taking care of it or whatever. And so I think that's a neat transition, because we see the moms coming in for the food and I go, hey, where's the kids? Oh, they're off at college, but I told them they can't take this with them because it's mine now. And I went, oh, that's cool. Here, that even brings up a general topic to take a little break on is how do we help our kids take care of things? Because there's so many times when we as parents take care of them, but our kids don't. Those are things that I think as parenting we learn, that we have to help our kids take care of these and put boundaries on them so that it's not a choice. This is the way things are.
And you've brought it up before also to look at it every 7 years. There's going to be a life event changing. That kid might be going off to college or school or whatever. You can tailor that pet to kind of align with maybe when those changes happen.
Right. Yeah. So rabbits, for instance, that we'll get into in a short period of time, average life is 7 years. So if your child is 6 and you're getting a rabbit, you know that, okay, right about college time, the rabbit's probably going to take an exit, and then we don't have that, pet in the house after they leave, kind of a thing.
And tying that point together, you might not want to get a rabbit at the age of 15 or 16,
right? Unless you want to. Yeah, and maybe there's plenty of parents out there going, what I kind of want is this, and I'm getting it for the kids, and that's okay. But it's important at different ages to hold the children accountable for taking care of. So the young ones, obviously, they're going to, dash the food into the aquarium. As they get older, they're going to start assisting and taking care of the habitat. So it's up to us to do that, and it's a boundary thing, and it's a non-option thing that you really, I think as parents, we struggle with. We don't put the boundary and then stick to the boundary. I think for life issues like a pet, I think it's important to stick to those boundaries. I think this shows a bigger lesson than cleaning your room. I'm all for cleaning rooms, but I think taking care of a life is even more important, and something that you want to stick to your guns on as far as demonstrating that to your children and going forward.
I had a guest in studio recently that got outed by his son, who's He's probably close to 30 or so. And he goes, yeah, Dad didn't want a dog in the house, so he made up the fact that he was allergic to him. And the son said, and really there was no way that we could test it because we didn't want to hurt Dad. And so they were like, we just went with it. And then it was like 20 years later that Dad goes, yeah, no, I just didn't want a dog in the house. And so I told you that.
You know what? And I think that's okay. If the family's not all on board, and you always have one that's a little bit of a straggler, but if that's not the right pet for the family, then yeah, okay. And if you have to tell a little lie,
little white lie.
All right. So we got into reptiles.
It's really quick. It's funny that the Havanese was in my arms, just snuggling up to me. I set him down on the ground, and all of a sudden, they are just off and playing once again.
And that's what the Havanese and the Dachshunds and the miniature pinchers, and there's a lot of breeds that do that, where they're all about play when they're running around, and especially when they got another dog that they're running out or a child. But when you pick them up, okay, I'm all about this now, kind of a thing. So, all right, we got through reptiles. Let's go into hamsters. I think hamsters are another one of those really great imagination type pets that brings out that imagination in a child. I remember it was a mouse that I was infatuated with. Mice don't tend to be the best pets. Rats tend to be good pets, but most of us, we can't handle that rat thing, the tail and all that kind of thing. So and Jerry is one of them. He just gave a quiver.
Nope.
But a hamster is something that could work for you.
Which is funny because we had hamsters growing up and gerbils and the guinea pig. So
there you go.
But rats, yep.
Yeah, you're not going there. The hamster, what my brain went crazy was with all the tunnels. I wanted to build as many tunnels as possible. Mm-hmm. And so have the little habitat and then go out from there. I think in our case growing up, we had both hamsters and gerbils. It was the classroom pet that needed to get taken care of over the summer. That's what introduced us. And then, yes, we did experience it has babies, wow. and learning that whole aspect. And that was a wonderful time. If you have a male and a female, chances are you're going to have babies. So that's something that you want to note. We do take all those babies at the appropriate age back into the store. If you have babies at home right now, know that we can take them and find new homes for them and stuff. But hamsters are a really great imagination type pet, and now they're a little more furry, a little easier handling, or you can handle them, and just fun kind of a thing. Know that you're going to do, again, a little more maintenance than the previous ones that we talked about. They're kind of similar as far as that goes to a reptile. Weekly, you're going to work with the maintenance on the habitat. Nutritionally, fairly easy to take care of. Keeping the water fresh every day and all that kind of a thing. If you're concerned about odors now with these, the more mammal kind of pets, there's actually additives you can put into the litter now that absorbs ammonia, and that makes it a little less smelly. You still have to take care of them though, but you don't notice the smell in the house or anything like that. That tends to be or can be a thing of the past. So now moving from hamsters, I like the hamster, I like the fuzzy, I like that. I'm just looking for a little bit more. So you can raise the bar and go to a guinea pig. And that was one of my first pets that we had for a while, because Wilbur, our guinea pig, lived for about 6-7 years. So now, again, bigger and more. So bigger habitats now. They're going to take more area. They're going to take a little bit more work to keep things fresh and good and all that. But they're going to be more interactive now. Guinea pig is skittish, but it's a little bit more interactive than even a hamster. So now we have the guinea pig, playing another role in our family. So you can move up the ladder or leapfrog from one to the next one up, kind of a thing. From the guinea pig, you go to the rabbit. Now, okay, rabbits are a little bit more as far as size goes, and so, but what you get with the rabbit is a lot more interaction. You actually can train a rabbit. You can litter train them. You can litter train a guinea pig, though. You can train them to stay and all that kind of stuff with treat training, and so that's kind of a neat thing to do. College students are big on that, where they can have a pet like in that apartment building allows that. Well, they'll get a rabbit and start working with it and having fun. And it's always amazing when they bring them into the store and go, look what I've done with this rabbit. This is crazy. So then going from a rabbit to a kitten or a cat, I just noticed yesterday the animal shelter has plenty of cats. Go to the animal shelter and get cats. We have some kittens in our store, but I'm sure you're going to find some really good social cats over at the animal shelter right now. So that is low maintenance. And in fact, we'll have a future show here within a month on how you can even decrease more of the maintenance on your cat. Less tracking, less smell, less having to deal with the litter box things. And you'll be amazed, if you haven't heard it already, what you can do with cats now. And they just kind of hang out and have fun. They also have a really bright personality. Everyone's unique on how they interact with your family too. So you've got the cat, and then you've got the puppy. So puppy is now at the high end of maintenance. This is not day to day, week to week. This is hour to hour interacting. The one little Pomchi that Jerry has in his arms right now, that guy, for his weight, he's pretty tiny, is going to be a little rascal. He's going to want to get into things and all that.
He almost pulled over the trash can over in the corner.
Yeah. But a small dog is easier than a big dog. So a rascally little dog is easy compared to a rascally big dog. So know that if you're considering a puppy, look at what is the adult weight for that dog, and know that the smaller they are, the easier they are. This little one, it was interesting last night. I had a great night's sleep. This little Pomeranian, it was a little vocal. And we, though, took note of that right at the beginning of the night. And I said, okay, you're going to go behind 2 closed doors before I can hear you in the bedroom. And so the little Pomeranian didn't keep us up and all that. I think that's important. That's what Petland brings to the table, and that is helping you understand, how do I make this an easy transition as possible? Taking on a pet is always going to add something to your schedule. Puppy is going to add a lot more.
Regular hours for today. 12 to 6.
Sunday is 12 to 6 for this Christmas Eve. And then we're closed tomorrow on Sunday. We're closed on Christmas on Monday. And then back to normal hours, 10 a.m. until 9 p.m.
Merry Christmas, everybody. It's
Merry Christmas.
Positively Petland show Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock on Iowa City's News and Sports Station, 800 KXIC. Till next time, Ron.
Thank you.